By the way, my name is Scott Knight, and if you want some of these PDFs, you can go to my website at scottknightmusic.com. And we are going to start going through some of last week's stuff. So first thing we'll do is Tremolo Pentatonic. And anyhow, so back to Tremolo Pentatonic. I'm going to start at 80 here with the metronome. 3, 4, so down, up, down, up. I'm going to come back, repeat that. I'm going to move my arm every time I change strings. Move again. All right, so that's our right hand exercise called Tremolo Pentatonic. And now we're going to go to Quasi Chromatic. Yes. Okay, so Quasi Chromatic is both hands steady. So we're going to do this. Oh, let's do it at 60. So here we go at 60. 1, 2, 3, 4. So down, up. Alternate pick. Put your fingers next to the frets. Move my arm. It's sticking. Now I'm going to go up 1 fret. Back. And I'm going to go up 1 and start all over again. I won't play all the way through. All right. So that is your quasi chromatic, your finger exercises. So you got, this was both right and left hand. And basically you just want to keep on working at speeding up a little bit, getting a little quicker with your coordination with your right hand and your left hand. And it just takes some time. With some repetition, you will get there. All right, so let's go over some chords. And this is last week's chords. So we had A minor, C, D, and E. Metronome's at 60. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Repeat. On A minor there. So, oops, stop. Okay, so shortcut here is really just A minor to C. So really just move your middle finger over a little bit and make room to reach that ring finger. So basically your ring finger is the only thing that's really changing strings or doing anything. The other 2 fingers, what I do is I slide them a little closer to the frets to get that stretch for the C chord, because it's a bit of a stretch. But A minor to C is not too bad. And then C to D is definitely a challenge because you got to move all your fingers. D to E, done that one. And then your E to A minor, you're just picking everything up and placing down, same shape, everything. So try to hold that shape, pick it up, and then put it down. So that's what we did from last week. So let's see now with this week and finger style. All right, I'm sorry, I do have one more from last week, finger style. So this one, let's see, 60. So I'm gonna do eighth notes at 60. 3, 4, so. All right, so with that, you want to try to, I don't know, try not to look at your right hand. I was looking, because it's pretty slow. But you try to do everything by feel and focus more on what your left hand's doing. You know, try to feel the strings of your right hand. You don't want to be pulling on the strings. You just want to have your fingers do the work, your right hand. And I got nails, so that help to kind of pick those too. So you have to grow some nails to make that work, or not. And so that was from last week. That was week 4. And let's go to week 5. All right, so back to some new chords. So we got 2 new chords. We got G and D minor. E minor is kind of a sad chord, but it's a tricky chord. You got it kind of stretched out over 3 frets. And same thing with G, is a little more spread out up and down as opposed to across. So they're both challenging chords, but yeah, eventually they'll become easy with repetition. So let me throw on chord progression, metronome. I like using the metronome because it helps me to stay in time. All right, at 50, 3, 4, so. Repeat. All right, so that was at 50, G, E minor, C, D. And so the shortcut for these chords would be G to E minor. You know, just move that middle finger and then pick up your ring finger out of the way. So just switch those back and forth. And then E minor, C, you can leave your middle finger there. So do your best at training your fingers to kind of hold that spot. I know it's not always easy. Fingers a lot of times want to just go like that. So, but do your best, and yeah, work at keeping those fingers there. Because there's no point to picking them up and putting them right back down where they were. So, but I know your fingers don't want to do that, so that's a challenge. C to D, there's no easy way of getting to it. You gotta move all fingers. So it's a good exercise to practice, just switching back and forth over and over. Don't worry about strum pattern, just strum once and switch, strum once and switch. And then D to G, D to G. Ooh, that sounds a little, there we go. Yeah, and then, you know, what I did there is I adjusted a little bit how I played my D chord when I got a little buzzy sound, probably because I wasn't close enough to the fret that I got that. So anyhow, yeah, and then the repetition on that is just, you know, you can do the metronome. I'll do it real quick. So I'm switching number 2 at 50. So it's like this. Here we go. So some G to D. So, and then as you get more comfortable, you can speed up a little bit. No matter what, strum though. So I'm exaggerating. So that's the best thing to do, and just keep working, speeding it up, and yeah, with the new chords there. So now we got A minor, D minor, G, C. So next one, let's go through that one. We're getting 2 chords today, G and D minor, so getting a bonus. But these are pretty much the chords that you're going to end up using most of the time. Your major minor chords. There's not too many other ones until you get into some bar chords, which we're not going to deal with the bar chords because it's too much challenging. So like this would be like a bar chord because this is the F chord because I'm holding down 2 strings. That's an F. Anyhow, so we're not going into bar chords, but if you can master these open chords, then bar chords will be next. All right, so let's do A minor, D minor, G, C. We'll do that at 50. The strum pattern is a little different. So all right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Repeat. There we go. And don't worry about speed. Just, I mean, that was at 50. And yeah, just gradually work your way up to faster, 50 to 55 to 55 to 60. Your goal is to be able to, once you can play it at 80 without mistakes, you're pretty good. So, I mean, obviously there's songs that are faster than 80, but that kind of gives you a good idea, like, oh yeah, you know the chord, then you could try faster versions of songs or something like that. Shortcuts on these two really is the A minor and the C, which we did on the last, basically on week 4. But we still have these 2 chords together. So A minor, so basically you're going from C back to A minor. So again, you're just moving that ring finger. A minor, D minor is nothing, no shortcuts, no nothing. Same thing, D minor, G. So that's a challenge right there. So definitely switch that one back and forth lots, over and over. And then you can do G and C. Here's a quick bonus. There is another way of playing G, and a lot of times I'll do it. Kind of depends on where I'm going. So if I want to do and then it's easier to get the C. But so sometimes I'll do that. It depends on the situation, but I would recommend going here. You got the stronger fingers. Your pinky's kind of one of the weaker ones. So your first 3 fingers are definitely got more coordination too, but you can do it with the pinky. It just matter. Some people learn the G chord that way with the pinky. That's fine too. It's not a problem. All right, so let's jump into. I think now we got some finger style. All right, so new finger style, new pattern. So we got the thumb, index, middle, index, ring, middle, index, middle. So that's the pattern. So it's P-I-M-A. So when you look at the PDF, it's got the P is the thumb, I index, M is middle, A is the ring. And again, I'm using my nails to kind of help pluck these strings, because it does sound a little different if I'm just using the flesh of my fingers. You can kind of hear it's not. Whereas it's got a little more pull, thumb too. And then when I'm finger picking, I'm not pulling, and that's a tendency everyone wants to do, is just kind of pull on the string. You just want to let your fingers do the work. And if your hand is kind of bouncing like that, it's going to make it a little more challenging, because once you get away from the strings, you got to come all the way back and find your spot. So that's why I don't recommend that. So do your best at trying to keep your fingers close to the strings where you just, you're actually your hand, and then you just moving your fingers to pluck the strings. That's your best bet for fingerstyle. All right, so let's get, I'll do it at 50. So I'm gonna do, these are eighth notes at 50, 4, so, oops, stop that one. All right, so you notice I did cheat a little bit for the E chord. I just used one finger. So there's no point because I wasn't playing anything on the 5th and 4th strings, so that's why I used one finger. So there's no point of putting the other 2 fingers down. I could have done that with the A chord. I could have left my middle finger off since I wasn't playing the 4th string, but it's just kind of a habit. So let me do this a little faster. I'm going to set my metronome at 40, playing quarter notes. So now it's 80, 3, 4, if I'm doing. Okay, so that was our exercise. Let me do that. I know it's kind of, I like that pattern, so let me do that at 60. That's gonna go like this: 2, 3, 4. Yeah, there you go. So that was new fingerstyle number 2. And let's get into, I don't need chords. So let's see, pentatonic pattern, yes. All right, so pentatonic pattern is what we were doing already with the exercise. But now, we're going to be playing some single notes. So far we've been doing chords, and we've done some single notes with the exercise, Quasi Chromatic. Yeah, idea is to coordinate, so when we play scales like this pentatonic scale, so with the exercises that'll help us coordinate our right and left hand playing scale patterns. And again, it's all about repetition. So, and if you're wondering what pentatonic is just 5. So it's a 5-note pattern. It's very common in all styles of music. And our scale, if you look at a scale like on a piano, if you played the white keys from C up to B, that's 7 notes. So we're leaving out a couple notes of the pentatonic scale here. And the red labels, those are on A, so it'd be A minor pentatonic. I'm alternate picking, so let me play this. Let's see. Yeah, it's too fast. All right, so let me do that at 60, and I'll do it at 8th notes. So sounds like this: 2, 3, 4. All right, I'll try it again. 2, 3, 4. Here we go. So if you notice with my right hand, I'm going up, and I just bring it back. And that's key, is keep your hand on the strings and moving them back up. most of the time we want to do is just kind of leave it there and kind of turn our wrist to reach the other notes. And that's problem with that is a couple things. You're not muting out the strings, and you don't know where your hand is. So typically what happens is you get going, you get to about second string or so, and then we like go, oh, I got to move to reach the first string, and that doesn't go well. So my suggestion is move your arm every time you change strings and bring it back, and just work on that. Eventually it just becomes, I don't think about what I'm doing here. So I'm just moving that automatically. So there's your pentatonic pattern. That was at 60, so you can practice that. Next week will be our last week, and we'll probably do some blues stuff. And then the pentatonic pattern will go along with the blues, and so that'll be a useful information. And I think I skipped something. What did I skip? I don't know. Seems like I skipped some finger style, but I did the finger style. Maybe I did the wrong one. Okay, let's try the finger style number 2. All right, so let me go over this again because I got some of my pages out of order, but that's typical. So 2, 3, 4. All right, there you have it. So anyways, if you want any of these PDFs and you don't have them and you're just kind of checking this out right now, you go to my website and sign up. It's scottknightmusic.com, and I'll shoot you the PDFs from there. Basically, just get your email, and then I can send it to you. Send you the link to get to it. So, anyways, hope you're all doing well and stay safe. Again, scottknightmusic.com. There's some information there and some links to some other stuff too. So stay safe, take care, and see you next week.